Zero Kara minus.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So, it is time for a special movie review today, in which today I'm going to be reviewing a film that was released in late last year, and is part of my favourite kaiju franchise of all time, the latest one to be made, of course, by its original franchise creator, which, of course, is Toho. And this film, of course, is of none other than from last year, which is Godzilla Minus One. So, now, this one, of course, was directed by Takashi Yamazaki. So, how was it made then? So, following, of course, the release of the 2016 Toho film Shin Godzilla, Toho was unable to produce another live-action Godzilla film until 2020, owing to a contract with Legendary Entertainment. The producer Minami Ichikawa appointed Takashi Yamazaki to create the movie upon the completion of his film, The Great War of Archimedes. Filming was unfortunately, however, postponed due to COVID-19 pandemic, so this of course left Takashi Yamazaki 3 years worth of time to work on the script for this film, and he took inspiration from previous Godzilla movies, and also from the works of directors such as Steven Spielberg and Hayao Miyazaki, which is definitely, of course, a very awesome thing to do, because Spielberg, of course, is an absolute legend in the film industry, making lots of the best films of all time, and of course, Hayao Miyazaki is my favourite Japanese director of all time, thanks to his work on Studio Ghibli films. Then, in February 2022, Robot Communications publicised that Takashi Yamazaki would soon direct an untitled kaiju movie. Filming occurred in Chubu and Kanto from March to June 2022 on a reputed budget of $10 to $15 million, which is definitely a very low budget for this film, and you'll definitely see why in a moment. And then, Shiragumi's Chofu Studio then spent 8 months creating this film's visual effects with its budget. The film was revealed to be in installments in the Godzilla series in November 2022, and its title, Minus One, was announced in July 2023. The film then premiered at the Shinjuku Toho building on October 18, 2023, and was then released in Japan on November 3rd to celebrate the franchise's 70th anniversary. Then Toho International released it worldwide, first of all in North America on December the 1st. Many Western critics praised the film as one of the best films of the year and among the greatest in the Godzilla franchise. The film grossed $116 million worldwide, becoming the 3rd highest grossing Japanese film of the year, and surpassing Shin Godzilla as a more successful Japanese Godzilla film. It's also won numerous accolades, including 12 nominations at the 47th Japan Academy Film Prize, and it won 8 of them. And at the 96 Academy Awards, it won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects, which is definitely 100% well deserved, and we'll get to why when it comes to my reaction. So, when I heard this film was getting lots of acclaim from people, such as, for example, my friends who saw the film, and also several reviewers that I watched who were praising the film and regarding it as among one of the best films of the year, maybe even the best film of the year period, or maybe even the best Godzilla film of all time, I was really excited to see this film. So, when it finally, of course, hit video on demand earlier this year, I finally got around to watching it, and when watching it for the first time, I absolutely loved it. I loved every single second of this film. It was worth every single second of its 125-minute runtime. Just absolutely incredible, in my opinion. Just an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. And I think out of all the modern Godzilla films released, it's definitely, for me, the best one that I've ever seen. I think it's better than all the MonsterVerse movies, in my opinion. And so far, it's the best out of the modern Toho films I've seen. I've yet to see the older Toho films before this. I've only seen the original one from 1954, but I've not seen any of the more modern ones before this, which I do intend to watch one day, though. So, what is the movie about, then? So, set in post-war Japan, the film, of course, stars a cast of actors, which is led by Ryunosuke Kamiki as a former kamikaze pilot who suffers from PTSD after, of course, he encounters Godzilla. So that, of course, is a plot of the movie set in post-war Japan. So, when it comes to what I think is great about this film, why I think it's an absolute masterpiece, it has a really great cast of actors in this film, who all, in my opinion, did a really amazing job in this film, and I've seen this film in both its dubbed Japanese and English, because I've seen it many times on Netflix. I even rewatched it on Netflix for this review, and I think both languages respectfully did a really great job, in my opinion. When it comes to the film's Japanese cast, I think Ryonosuke Kamiki did a really brilliant job in this as Kochi, who of course is a kamikaze pilot. I think he was a really well written and likeable character, and Ryonosuke was so good as him in my opinion. I also as well love Minami Hamabe as Noriko, who of course is his girlfriend. She was also a great character as well. Also a very likeable character too. And the rest of the cast was really amazing, like Yuki Yamada as Shiru, the young crewman, and also as well Munetaka Aoki as Sosaku, and also Hidetaka Yoshioka as Kenji as well. And so many, just to name a few really. Like, the whole cast of this film was, in my opinion, perfectly cast. Now, when it comes, of course, while talking about this film's budget, so here is why. Now, I absolutely adore this film's visual effects. For of course, Godzilla and the destruction scenes. And I really want to give tons and tons of praise to this film's visual effects department, because when watching this film, I had to constantly remind myself that they made this film with the budget of $10 to $15 million, because it's so hard to believe it was such a low budget, because the visual effects for this film completely blew my mind, and I will say that in my opinion, it's the best Godzilla CGI I've ever seen in my life, ever. Like, it just blows my mind how incredible this film looks with such a low budget. Like, just bear in mind, it's literally using a lower budget than a lot of the films we get today from, like, superhero franchises and stuff like that. Like, less money, but amazing visual effects, especially as well, which is better than other films which I've heard bad news about, which I've seen visual effects for, which I've not been happy about, released in the same year. For example, The Flash, of course. Definitely a big example of that, and also lots of MCU films in particular too. Like, it shocks me how this film has a low budget but has way better visual effects than those. Like, that's just shocking to me. But visual effects for the film are just incredible. Like, the CGI for Godzilla and his design is fantastic. I love how the design paid homage to the original design from the 50s, and also when it comes to homages to the original, I love how when it comes to Godzilla's Roar, they literally used the original Roar and recorded it to use in this film, which I really appreciate them doing, because I think the Godzilla Roar is just very iconic and is, in my opinion, too good to be replaced by something else. So I really appreciate how these films, especially this one, of course, use the original in some way or another, and they still use it faithfully, which I really appreciated. And when it comes to destruction scenes in this film, they really blow my mind because of how stunning they are when it comes to visual quality. And it's just so incredible how they did this, especially when it comes to Godzilla's atomic breath as well. Like, it just really shocks me how well they did this, especially with such a low budget. Like, it just blows my mind to this day, really. Even on my re-watches of the film, it blows my mind. In addition to the absolutely incredible visual effects for this film, I also definitely really love its musical score, which is composed by Naoki Sato. And what I especially love about the music is, not only is it brand new composed music, but it also includes the original theme song from the 54 movie. Like, that I really absolutely loved about this film. It was definitely, in my opinion, a really awesome homage to the original movie, how it featured the original theme for Godzilla. I mean, the Monsterverse have already done it too as well, but this film also did it too. Even in the credits, they use the same theme song, which I definitely really appreciate them doing, and I really love that about it. Like, that was just, in my opinion, incredible. And definitely, in my opinion, fan service for fans of the original film from 1954. Absolutely. Like, I definitely love how they used Akira Ifukube's soundtrack in this. And they recomposed it to fit this film so well, in my opinion. It didn't feel forced, and they actually put it into a soundtrack to fit in. Like, when I heard it when rewatching the film, it just really gave me lots of chills, because it was definitely a really awesome flashback to the original movie. Absolutely. And the film is also full of really intense moments as well, because despite being 5 minutes after 2 hours, 125 minutes, it's fantastically paced in my opinion, because there's lots of destruction scenes throughout, there's lots of action scenes where we're fighting Godzilla. And even in the scenes where Godzilla's not there, the human characters definitely make the scenes watchable, because they're great characters who are really fun to watch, who are likeable and well written. And the story is very captivating because of that, really. It's so intense. And the film also has lots of heartbreaking moments too as well, which is what you need, of course, for a monster destruction movie as well. And I definitely think they did a really brilliant job with this film, in my opinion. Just incredible. Like, it just really blew my mind how incredible this film is. I can see why it got acclaim. And I will say, it definitely deserves an Oscar, in my opinion, for visual effects. Like, this film is proof that you don't need to have lots of money to have groundbreaking, stunning visual effects. Because money doesn't matter. Because with the small money we have for this film, they were able to create probably one of the most stunning pieces of scenes I've ever seen in my life, ever, when watching films in my life. Like, this one was definitely proof of that. When it comes to those heartbreaking moments, the film also has, in my opinion, a very emotional ending because as tradition when it comes to Godzilla movies, of course, it does feature, of course, the destruction of Godzilla, and the pilot who crashes into Godzilla does, of course, or eject from it, of course, or, you know, like, Koichi definitely, you know, struck it lucky by getting out of plane just in time, and we get to see him reunite, of course, with his friends and family, and we see that Noriko has survived destruction as well, but she's injured. And we as well get a very, very intense, exciting final scene where we see, of course, a piece of Godzilla's flesh in the ocean sinking, but it starts to regenerate. So, that, of course, means there could be a good chance of a sequel happening. And I really would love to see sequels to this film because it was just so amazing. I'd love to see more of it. Absolutely. I can trust that Takashi Yamazaki would do a great job directing if he was to return as director. I can trust he'd do a really amazing job with this film because it's quite clear to me that he, of course, is a big fan of the original franchise and he wanted, of course, to make a film for the Godzilla fans. So think of it as like a Godzilla fan making a Godzilla film for the fans. I really do think he did a really amazing job directing this film and he definitely really deserves an Oscar. He and the cast and crew all definitely deserve the award to be won for this. Like, the fact it took 70 years for Godzilla to finally win an Oscar is just incredible, really. Definitely worth a long wait because this film was an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. And I have no bad qualities with the film whatsoever because I think it was an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. Like, from the beginning to the end, I was in full focus watching it. I just absolutely adored this film from the start to end. Just an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. 125 minutes worth every single second, absolutely. Like, with everything you'd want being, of course, the intense destruction scenes, Godzilla with absolutely incredible visual effects for it, with incredible CGI, great characters who are very likeable, and musical score which pays homage to the original with amazing fan service, and very intense moments to it, and also very emotional ending, just an absolute masterpiece right there. So, I think out of the modern Godzilla films, it's probably the best one I've ever seen in my life, ever. Just an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. Toho definitely really nailed it making this film, absolutely. And Takashi Yamazaki is definitely one of my favourite directors of all time thanks to this movie. An absolute legend who first began as a director inspired by great sci-fi films has now, of course, made an absolute masterpiece that's an Oscar winner. What a legend he is. Well deserved of that Oscar win, absolutely. So, if I was to give this film a score out of 10, guys, because, like I said, I have no problem with this film whatsoever, I think it's an absolute masterpiece and the best modern Godzilla film I've ever seen in my life ever, I would definitely give this film a full-blown 10 out of 10. An incredible masterpiece from start to finish. I love this film so much. And if you guys haven't seen this already, then please do, because it's on Netflix right now, so please give it a watch. It's an absolute masterpiece, and I really hope I can get it physically one day. I really hope I can get it on physical media, because it's definitely a film that is worth owning. Absolutely. So guys, this is me, of course, doing my review, of course, for 2023's Godzilla Minus One. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let in the comments what you guys think of Godzilla Minus One. If you've seen it, think comments below what you think of it. If you want to watch them, then please watch it. You will not regret it. Also, be sure to join the Team Plan by pressing subscribe in the coming future. And long live the King of the Monsters.